Hi there. My name is Emily Pierce, and I am the Ben Lee Damsky Assistant Curator of Numismatics at the Yale University Art Gallery. Please join me in exploring one of my favorite objects, a medal titled Washington Before Boston. This medal has a fascinating story, both as a product of the 18th century and as a piece of numismatic Washingtoniana, materials that relate to George Washington. It comes from one of the most precious and important groups of metals produced by the United States, the Comitia Americana, which is Latin for American Congress. The Comitia Americana series defines a group of 11 medals commissioned by the Continental Congress to celebrate the American Revolutionary War heroes and their foreign allies who fought for the independence of the United States. These medals, produced in gold, silver, and bronze, hold extreme historical importance as they document some of the earliest moments of the independent, fledgling nation engaging diplomatically with the international community. The Washington Before Boston Medal celebrates and memorializes George Washington's heroic efforts at Dorchester Heights, which forced the British to evacuate Boston in March 1776. Their retreat marked Boston as the first liberated major city from British occupation. On March 25, 1776, the Continental Congress voted to commemorate and reward Washington for his successful leadership with a gold medal. Washington's was thereby the first medal commissioned by the Congress. Unfortunately for Washington, the medal's design and production was significantly disorganized due to the political transitions of the American colonies. It took 2 failed committees, 2 failed designs, and at least 14 years before Washington received his medal, the 6th of the Comitia Americana series to be produced despite being the first commissioned. After years of confusion and several angry die engravers, Congress finally commissioned French engraver and medalist Benjamin Duvivier to design and engrave dies for the medal. Duvivier's ultimate design depicts a nude Washington in right-facing profile, heavily based on the sculpted bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. Below his bust is the Latin phrase Comitia Americana. Above the bust, and following the circular curve of the medal's rim, is another Latin phrase that translates to George Washington, Supreme Commander of the Army and Defender of Liberty. The medal's reverse depicts Washington on horseback, in the foreground speaking with 4 mounted officers. To their right lies used cannons, those which famously traveled from Fort Ticonderoga to Dorchester Heights. The background depicts the Continental Army advancing towards the city of Boston, where 8 British vessels can be seen sailing in retreat. Yale's Washington Before Boston Medal is emblematic of 18th century American and French art history, but it is also an excellent device through which to better understand numismatic construction and method. This medal was made through a process called striking, in which a blank piece of metal is placed between 2 dies or stamps and then struck with a hammer. The obverse, or front, of the medal has a strange mark immediately to the right of Washington's chin. The mark indicates that there is an anomaly on the face of the obverse die, in this case, a large rust spot. Using this information, numismatists can determine other medals made from this particular obverse die. The small amount of rust on a steel die has massive implications when trying to deduce how many die have been used in the production of a medal series. Individual medals and medal series were used by Europeans as early as the 16th century as gifts of diplomacy. The Comitia Americana series, including Washington Before Boston, carried that tradition to the forming United States and granted the Continental Congress a level of legitimacy. The Washington Before Boston Medal, therefore, not only celebrates the efforts of General and President George Washington, but also marks the issuing government as one on equal footing with European powers. The medal is an award, a memorial, and a diplomatic statement, making it one of the most historically important numismatic objects of early American history.